Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're going to talk about oily skin, because if you watch my channel, if you know me, you know that I have oily skin. Having oily skin is seriously so annoying sometimes. Just coming home after a long day and seeing that you look like a greasy hot dog is just not really what you want to look like, but sometimes you do. After all of these years, I have found some products that I love and that I think are the best for oily skin. So this video is for people with oily skin. If you have combination skin, these products are really good. If you have normal and you want more of a matte finish, this video is for you. If you have dry skin, not sure if all of these products are gonna work, but this video is for my oily skin girls, okay? That is actually one of the questions that I get most often is like, do you have good recommendations for people with oily skin? And I have oily skin, so I actually have a lot of good recommendations. I thought it would be nice to have one video that I can always send people to if they have problems with oily skin. You can always come back to this if you have oily skin, you want some good recommendations. I'm gonna share moisturizer, primers, foundation, and powders today. So the best of the best. So I think without rambling for too long, I think we could just go ahead and get started. So for moisturizer, I have two that I just kind of switch between. I have the Clinique Dramatically Different Moisturizing Gel, which I have been using mostly lately. I've used this probably like a month straight now, every single morning before I apply my makeup, and it has worked so good. I would recommend everyone with an oily skin to not stop using moisturizer. You should always use a moisturizer morning and night, no matter what your skin type is. If you have super oily skin, don't skip on the moisturizer. Just don't do it. If you stop wearing moisturizer, your skin is just gonna produce even more oil. So you do not want to do that. Don't skip on the moisturizer. And if you want one, I would say go for the Clinique one, the moisturizing gel. The reason why I love this is that it is moisturizing, but it is so lightweight and it sinks so quick into the skin. So it does not make your skin feel greasy or anything like that before makeup, because that's key. You don't want to use a moisturizer that is heavy and thick before your makeup, because then it's just going to go on really cakey, oily, all of that. You want something that sinks in before you apply the makeup. So this one is good because it sinks in really quick, but still gives you moisture. That's why I love this, and I am probably going to continue buying this for a really long time because I love it. Another one that I find to be very similar to it, I just want to show you guys this one as well because I really do like this one pretty much just as much, so it's just another option for you. This is from the brand Nuxe, and this is the Creme, this is in French, okay? You guys know me in French. Creme Fraiche de Beaute Light. It is basically just their moisturizer in light. So this one says it is de-thirst and mattify. So this one is good if you have oily skin because it does moisturize your skin, but mattifies. So this one sinks in really quick. It's really good before makeup because it just sinks in so quick, and that's so important. So if you want a good moisturizer, go for one of these. This one I know you can get at a lot of pharmacies, and Clinique you can find at Sephora, you can find it at tax-frees, you can find it a lot of places, but it just depends on what you prefer, but I like them both. So for primers, I am a little skeptical about primers because I feel like most primers don't really do anything, but I have two primers that I feel like actually do something for me, and those are the ones that I'm going to share with you guys right now. The first product is not technically a primer, but I use it as a primer, so that's why it's in this category, and it is the Luccitane Ultra Matte Fluid. This one I really like to apply before my makeup, especially if I'm going to have a long day. I want my makeup to look extra matte. This one I love because it makes my skin matte, but it doesn't dry my skin out. I find if I use a mattifying primer that makes my skin like super matte in the beginning, it seems to not work in like the long term. Like it looks so matte like the first hours, but then it just kind of breaks up and then I'm super oily again. So this one is just a little lighter. Like I can apply it on my hand right now and not feel like my hand is like super matte and dry. It kind of just feels like a really thin moisturizer that just kind of mattifies your skin. Yeah, I really like this. I find that this one works really well, and I have used this a bunch of times. I've used up more than half of it, and I freaking love this thing. I just feel like it actually works. Then we have my other favorite primer, which is more of a primer. It is a primer. This is the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. I use the one in light, and that's the one that I recommend for you guys with an oily skin. I have used the original one. It's good, but it's not not nearly as good as this one for oil control. This one is so nice because, again, it is not one of those that really dries out your skin. This one is really good if you have oily skin because it is more of a lightweight primer. This one is actually my favorite primer in the entire world. I recommend it to anyone that struggles with shine. This one is my favorite. And also something that is very important is that you wait. When you apply the primer, wait a little bit before you're going with your foundation. That is actually really, really important as well, especially if you struggle with oily skin. That is something I would recommend you guys. Wait a little bit to make everything just sink into your skin. So, I don't know, probably do your brows in the meantime. I don't know, you can do something else. Don't go like directly with moisturizer, then primer, then foundation. It's just gonna slide on your skin. It's not gonna work that well. So I would say wait a little bit to make it really sink into your skin. That's why I recommend you guys using these moisturizer, because they actually do sink into the skin really, really quick. And also something that works for me is that you can actually choose between using a primer or a moisturizer if you have very, very oily skin. I would not recommend doing this every day because I would recommend using a moisturizer like every day basically. But if you have very oily skin, you can just go directly in with primer and not use the moisturizer. Or you can use the moisturizer and not use the primer. So you can use either one, or just wait a little bit to make it really sink into your skin. Okay, so for foundations, 2 of these are favorites that I had for years, and then one of them is a newer one, and I want to talk about the newer one first because oh my god, this one just blew me away. I just did a video on it, and it is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Foundation. I've used this one every single day since that first impression. I can't seem to put this down. I love it. It's so good, and what I love about it on my skin tone, I can't speak for if you have dry skin because I don't have dry skin. This one does not look dry on me at all, but it just keeps me matte. Like, it really makes my skin matte the whole day. This one is amazing. If you want to try something new, you feel like nothing has worked for you, try the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Foundation. It is freaking amazing. I love it. And then 2 foundations that has always worked for me. I love, love, love them. First one is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Makeup. This one is a very heavy foundation. This one is a full coverage matte foundation. This one is the most full coverage, and this is also the most expensive one. I love this one. I have used this for years. It's one of my favorite foundation of all time, and I love it. Last foundation is the drugstore foundation, and this is just as good as the other ones. I love this. Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. This is so nice because it is mattifying. This is very, very good if you have oily skin because it just mattifies. You can use this every single day. Looks good no matter what. You can build it up to full coverage. You can wear it a little bit more lightweight. It's just such a good everyday foundation that just works so, so nice. So if I have 3 foundations to recommend for oily skin, it would be these. So the last thing that we're going to talk about for oily skin is, of course, powder. You should never skip powder. Like, that is probably one of the most important things. When you're doing your makeup, don't skip the powder because you're gonna look greasy. Okay? Let me tell you that. I have never worn foundation with no powder because I would look crazy. I would look so oily and weird. So powder is key for me, and if you watch my channel, you know which powder I swear by. I love this powder. This is the Rimmel Stay Matte Long-Lasting Pressed Powder. I love this because it's so inexpensive, so I can just buy it whenever I want, and it's just so affordable. It is not going to ruin your budget. It's just going to be a good powder that mattifies. This one is very, very, very good for being mattifying powder. This is the most mattifying powder I have tried, but it is so lightweight. It is not heavy on the skin. Just sets the makeup, nothing else. It doesn't give you really any color, I feel like. I know they have different colors. I just always buy the transparent color. It just sets the makeup and makes it matte, and that's everything I ask for in a powder. And also, I just have one more recommendation before we end this video. This is a newer powder, but I have really started loving this. This is the Urban Decay Velvetizer, and I really, really like this as a setting powder. I find it to be very mattifying, and that I love. I feel like my makeup looks really, really good when I use this powder, and it's just a very, very good setting powder. I know this is like a mix-in medium. You can mix it in with your foundation. I personally just prefer using it as an all-over setting powder. I feel like it is so beautiful. Your skin looks just like photoshopped and beautiful. Looks like you have a filter on your skin, and it just lasts. It does not look oily throughout the day. So I would recommend these two powders. I think they're really, really good. Hopefully you guys liked this video and got some good recommendations for good products for oily skin. I've struggled with oily skin for a really, really long time, so I know how it is, and I feel you, okay? I feel you. I've been there. And I still am. I still have oily skin. But like I said, this foundation, I've not touched it up. I worn it for the full day, and now it is at nighttime, and I'm filming this video, and I didn't even touch up because this freaking foundation is just everything in my opinion. And I used this moisturizer, and then I used the Stay Matte powder. So these three are just like key makeup products. I love them. Best oily skin product. If you like this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel before you leave, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!